Welcome to week 4 of my Metamorphosis Recovery Challenge, where I try to reclaim my health, both physical and mental, and my life after cancer and 2 months of forced bed rest. Bit of a recap for what we're trying to accomplish here this week. I have 3 routines that I do every single day, including the weekends. If you want to hear about these in nauseating detail, go back to the first video in this series. I will talk you through it. Otherwise, here's a quick recap on the screen. One of my focus areas for this week is the 8 a.m. wake up time goal. My sleep schedule has been so messed up since all of that bed rest, and I am having the worst time getting it fixed. Spoiler alert, we're going to start real rocky. I'm aiming for 2 20-minute stretches every single day, at least 2 hours apart. And for my dog Versailles, we have a very simple challenge this week. It's to polish her sit pretty trick. For the week 4 goals, of course, we have blueberry picking on the list. That's just going to be true until there are no more blueberries for me to pick. I'm going to try my hand at candle making again. I did this last week and I enjoyed it, but it was a huge learning curve. I think I can do better this time, and there's just some other techniques and styles that I want to try. I have also decided that this week I will bake something. We're going to figure out what. At the end of the week, I am going to celebrate my parents' 45th anniversary with them. And then there are the exercise goals. I have 4 30-minute workouts that I have to get done at some point during this week, and 4 days where I get at least 10,000 steps. I'm really looking forward to this week. Last night, I attended a women-only wine and whimsy event, and it was sort of a revelation for me in terms of where my energy is at now. The difference between my energy levels in week 1 and week 3 of this challenge are truly shocking. It's amazing what a difference just a few weeks have made. I am sore from dancing. I am super pleased with my bouquet that I made at the Bloom Bar there. But one thing that happened was I won a raffle. Not one of the big prizes, but I was so tired by the time I got home, I haven't even looked in this bag yet. So we're going to check out what I won. Here it is. The first item appears to be a hand-painted floral wine glass. Super pretty. It's got a sticker on it that says hand wash only, so I'm going to have to remember that for the rest of time. I have what appears to be a lace doily coaster to go with my hand-painted wine glass. I have a vanilla creme brulee Yankee candle. 2 weeks ago, I would have been stoked to have this, but I'm a candle maker now. I don't truck with this paraffin wax stuff anymore. I make things with pure beeswax. It smells really good, though. This appears to be a heart-shaped puff for applying face powder. It's very cute. I don't use powder a lot anymore, but I'm sure I can find a use for it. Oh, and some chocolates. Not a bad haul. It's the start of a new week, which means we get to pull a self-care card. I got the other I had cancer in the deck. I have 2 of these in my hand now, so I'm super covered. This allows me to skip a day's exercise goals. The self-care deck is getting so low, I'm gonna have to invent some new ones. And I've had some ideas for some new challenges, so we may be expanding those decks this week. So because I was out late last night, dancing and making friends and then journaling, I got in really late. I was very tired, which means I woke up pretty late this morning. So we've already blown that 8 a.m. wake up time, which was our focus goal for the week. Womp womp. It's okay. We can try again tomorrow. The morning routine went very well. I actually extended that 10-minute tidy into about a 20-minute tidy because things had just gotten so out of hand. Last week was pretty busy, given I'm still in recovery. I think I could still put another 20 or 40 minutes into just reorganizing and cleaning, and I would really benefit from that, but we'll see if that actually happens. I did my morning stretch, and I'm definitely making progress in flexibility. I was able to lower the level of the yoga block that I'm using to help me get back to the splits. Super duper excited about that. Again, another clear sign of progress. Wonderful to see. Very motivating. I took the dog for a nice long walk, so I'm already more than halfway to that 10,000 step goal for the day. I had an A+ focus hour. I got a lot of little polishing tasks done on my current project. I'm getting really close to finishing the current project and being able to move on to the next, which is always a great feeling. Despite being tired and a little bit achy, especially headachy, I'm in really good spirits for today. It's amazing what dancing can do for the soul. This is a weird meta, but I am now just wrapping up editing the video for week 3 and about to release it. I'm gonna have myself some dinner. I'm gonna try to get a little bit of client work done after that, and then hopefully I will have time to do some tidying and just generally close open loops in my life right now that are taking up mental energy. I'm pretty sure the dog has a play date on the way tonight, so we'll see when we manage to do that sit pretty training. Yes, very good. Very nice. Yes, very good. Yes, yes. Yes, very good. Come. Yes, good girl. Yay, good girl. No joke, today has been my best work day ever in terms of energy since the cancer treatment started. Like, even before I had the surgeries, I was really struggling to do a full work day. Today, I did a full work day end to end, and even then, a little some. I didn't have to take a long lay down in bed, I didn't have to nap, and I wasn't just drowning in brain fog. It was an actually good work day. I know that recovery is not linear and that I need to set my expectations that this will not be every day, but I am so relieved to see that these days are possible again. I can't wait until they're the norm. I worked on Sit Pretty with the dog. She did pretty well. There's definitely room for improvement, but that's why we're doing this. While she was on her nightly play date, I did my stretch and tried to do a little bit of catch up on all the many, many things that I've gotten so far behind on. After the dog had had her post playdate bath, we took a nice little evening walk, and that got me within striking distance of that 10K step goal. So I just spent about 15 minutes on the walking pad, again, spending the time on catching up on things that I desperately need to catch up on, and I hit that goal. The past 3 weeks, we have had a trend of really rough Mondays, so I am very happy to break that streak here in week 4. It is almost time for bed. The dog is already on my bed waiting for me. But last week I didn't pull a single challenge card. I was just too overwhelmed and too tired and trying to do too much. At the risk of trying to do too much, I'm gonna pull a challenge card to go out super strong on this wonderful evening. Here we go. Okay. Challenge card. I got the correspondence card. The challenge here is to write a letter to a distant friend. I have several people in mind for this. Let me go grab a pen and I will seek out a card and we'll get this done. For my reward, I can either pull a self-care card or a reward card. I've been going pretty heavy on that self-care card deck. I wanted to give myself plenty of insurance. So let's pull something from the reward deck tonight. This one is very funny sitting here right now, just surrounded by flowers. But I can buy myself farmer's market flowers. The local farmer's market happens every Wednesday. It is currently Monday. I don't think that this brand new bouquet, which I just got to put together last night at an event, I'm in love with it. I don't think it's going to be wilted by this Wednesday. So I'm going to hold this in my hand maybe for next Wednesday. The farmer's market bouquets are usually so big. I always desperately want one, but I never know where I'm going to put it because, as you can see, this one's been bouncing around my desk back and forth depending on which monitor I need to use because I want to see it, but I also want to see my monitors. I'm going to have to bring in like an extra little table to put a farmer's market bouquet on somewhere in here. Definitely something to look forward to. All right, time for me to wash my face and get into bed at a very respectable hour so that I can hopefully make that 8 a.m. wake up time tomorrow without feeling like I've been hit by a bus that didn't get enough sleep. Good night. I really don't want to jinx this, but over the last couple of days, this is really recent, sleep has felt better than it had since even before the surgeries, since around the time of the diagnosis and when we started doing really invasive biopsies. Sleep became really difficult to attain. I would lay in bed for hours. When I did fall asleep, I would wake up constantly. I would toss and turn in pain. There was just no comfortable position. And when I woke up, I barely felt rested, if I felt rested at all. I would have to take multiple naps every single day, and they were barely restorative, if they were restorative at all. But over the past couple of nights, I have slept so deeply and so well. If this is not a sign of recovery, I don't know what is. I think you can really see it in the way that my energy levels are responding during the daytime as well. That rules. I really need this to continue. They say that sleep might be the most important part of recovery and healing, and that has been kind of a bummer when not only was it hard to sleep, when I did sleep, it felt like crap. It didn't really feel like sleeping. It just kind of felt like being miserably unconscious for a while. Please let this be the start of like a really positive feedback loop. So today I woke up just after 7 a.m. Pretty good for me. I didn't get out of bed for about 40 minutes because the dog wanted me to continue cuddling her, and what am I, a monster? But I did eventually get up. I checked off the morning routine, and today was one of the days that I had committed to work out. I pulled up the Latin dance workout that I had tried the previous week that kicked my butt so very badly. It went much better this week. I don't have quite as much fun with that sort of thing as I do, say, with the fitness marshal, but it was still a pretty good time. Had a nice, yummy stretch. I'm still feeling a little bit sore from dancing in those wedge heels all night on Sunday. I don't think they were really made for being danced in. I did my focus hour, and I was able to focus so completely that it turned into about 2 focus hours, actually. I'm getting to the point where working on these things is feeling kind of fun again. It's feeling engaging instead of like dragging my belly across broken glass to try and get something done. I did get some client work done today. Super important. Slowly catching up. I am sad to report that I have not taken the dog for a single walk today. I have tried to take the dog for a walk, but it is close to 100 degrees out, and she's not a huge fan of walks to begin with. I am really low on my step count today. That's all right because we don't need to hit 10K every day, but on days when I have a dance workout, I always kind of want to piggyback on top of all of those dance steps to try and get to the 10K. So Versailles has just not been walked today. She's been out to potty a few times, but she has just been flatly refusing to subject herself to the heat for something as stupid as a walk. I didn't really feel like I had it in me to both focus and be on the walking pad today, so I just think we aren't going to hit that 10K steps today. That's okay, we still have time. And she's not going to be without exercise because tonight is a visit to her bestest best bud, so I get to go be with my friends and she gets to go be with her friend. Everyone is a winner. I continue to just be in a great mood. It is about 5 o'clock. I am going to wrap up what I'm working on. I am going to give the dog her training time, and then I am going to bundle her into the car, and we are going to head off to see her friend. Not that? Okay. What about this? What about the sausage treat? Is that better? No? Would you like milk bone? No? Okay. Never mind. She says it's too hot to train, and if she doesn't want to train, I'm not going to force her. Lo and behold, after playing with her friend, Versailles wanted to train, and her friend wanted to train too. So we actually did our full 10 minutes of sit pretty practice with friend Stitch. He is not bad at sit pretty. I'm not sure how much progress she actually made in this training session. She went through the motions, but she's not really looking to polish anything up when she's training with her friend. They kind of egg each other on and get a little bit frantic about how fast they can do the tricks together, but it looked fun. I didn't stay too long. Normally I'm there 3, maybe 4 hours, but after about 2.5, I called it because I have this doctor's appointment tomorrow and I am nervous about it to the point that I am starting to feel nauseous when I think about it. I want to make sure that I get to bed reasonably early and have a lot of good sleep before going in. When we got home, she had her post playdate bath, and then we took her for a walk because it had cooled down to about 80 degrees. It was still plenty light out, and it was gorgeous. It was really beautiful. And in fact, I am like 500 steps away from my goal now. So I think I'm going to walk in some circles until I hit that 10,000 steps because I'm too close to let it go now. I just finished my final stretch of the day, so we have checked off everything we need to check off for the challenge today. I'm definitely feeling it. The last 3 days have been pretty intense, either in sociability or just I've been pushing pretty hard to try and do some catch up, and it's feeling like at this point, will I ever catch up? I don't know. I am worn out, but in a way where I feel like I could actually sleep rather than just being endlessly worn out. So I guess that's still an improvement. I'm going to have a little snack. I am going to pace out those last 500 steps. I'm going to wash my face and I am going to crawl into bed. See you in the morning. Can I have some space in the bed, please? Thank you, baby. It's 7:30 a.m. We're doing the bare minimum on our morning routines. We can do the rest later, but it is going to be 100 degrees again today, and I need to get to the blueberries before it's too hot. Sunblock. That's my wall of bows. On my way home, I'm just gonna swing by the post office really fast to send this letter that I wrote. Hey, I'm home. I am just wrapping up the last few steps in my morning routine, gonna train with the dog, and then we're gonna squeeze in a workout. Once I finished with my workout and stretch, I went through my self-care routine and headed off for the dread appointment. I was so afraid what they were going to tell me in this appointment. I had literally been feeling nauseous since the night before, imagining them saying that we were going to have to wait another week, another 2 weeks, another month before the restrictions could be lifted. Every time I've gone in thinking, surely we've made enough progress in healing. They'll give me some relief now. They'll lift at least some of the restrictions now. The answer has always been no. I didn't think I could stand hearing that one more time. I'm approved to lift. I can lift my arm. I'm allowed out of the compression bras. We can start filling the expander. I really needed this win. I really needed this. I am allowed to lift my arm above my head. I am allowed to lift any weight that I want. I can get out of this compression bra. We're able to start progressing the process of reconstruction. I ran straight here after my workout and shower. I didn't have time for a focus hour, and I'm not gonna do that today. I'm gonna play the F it card. I'm gonna go get some ice cream and celebrate. I got peaches and cream and strawberry. So there's actually something we have to add to the list of daily things for the challenge. We gotta put physical therapy on there now. I was so excited about starting physical therapy that after I trained with the dog, I pulled out the notes that my physical therapist gave me well over a month ago now, all the exercises that I was given, but told not to start until the surgeon okayed it. After all this buildup, it was kind of a little bit of a letdown for how simple the exercises were. But that's okay, because now I'm allowed to do my own exercises if I want, whichever exercises I want. So tonight, I did my first real downward dog in more than 2 months. I started the day with something magical. I got to be the one to unload the dishwasher this morning. It's weird what you miss when you can't do it, but repeatedly reaching up to put dishes away on higher shelves was not something I could do at all. Just like that, I'm living life again. Happy Thursday. I'm checking in from the evening. I have had a very good, very full day. I have the hiccups. I got to wear a normal bra today, not a medical compression bra. Aren't I fancy? I got up at 7 a.m. this morning. I did my morning routine. I noted that once again, Versailles is just not that interested in training right now. I am very confused by this. Normally, she absolutely adores training. It is her favorite part of the day, but for the last few days, her interest has been pretty low. Granted, it has been very hot out, but I've been leaving the air conditioning on at her preferred temperature in my room. And in the morning, it wasn't that hot, so I'm not really sure what the issue is. If this keeps up, she's going to the vet. We did do some training, it just wasn't with her usual enthusiasm. And then I worked out. I got to do my very first workout with weights in well over 2 months. I was very careful to use only very light weights to not overdo anything, but it was super fun. It felt really good. I was grinning the whole time. I did my physical therapy exercises. I'm not really sure who they're for. I guess for someone who didn't already have an exercise program and stretching program lined up and ready to go, but they feel really silly to do between the specific workouts and the specific stretches that I'm already doing. I don't know. I'll keep doing them until I see the physical therapist next week and we can discuss them. There's not much challenge to any of the movements. I don't know if they're supposed to feel challenging, but if so, we need to switch what I'm doing. I had a really, really nice stretch. Right after completing my self-care routine, I went on a fairly long walk with the dog. She thought it was stupid, but I'm on a mission, and it was so pretty out. It was beautiful. My parents live in the most beautiful place. It's incredible here. I came home to do the focus hour, and I did 2 hours. I solved a bunch of coding problems that I had been stuck on for a while. My brain felt pretty good. I got some work done for Line of Action and the RP repository, which also felt great to do. In the evening, we went for another walk. It was about 40 minutes long. Again, super duper pretty. It's a really nice time of year. After that evening walk, I was very close to 10K steps and got it soon after. Check on that goal too. When we got back, the dog and I worked on Sit Pretty. Again, she just isn't that into training right now. It really kind of worries me. It's so unlike her. I don't feel like we're making the kind of progress that I would expect with the focused attention we're giving to Sit Pretty right now, just because her heart just isn't in it. Maybe she's boycotting for a whole new set of good treats. She really does like very high value, very novel treats. I have to keep changing them all the time, so maybe the treats have just gotten too boring. Then she was off to her evening play date for the night, and I did my evening stretch. I'm trying to find it within myself to do one of the other weekly goals, like bake something or do candles again, but today has been so full and so busy, and I have just been fully engaged all day. I just don't think I have the gas. I'm feeling really, really sleepy. It is about 9 p.m. right now, and the only thing I want to do is wash my face, maybe play a day or two of Stardew Valley, and go to bed. When I woke up today, I was actually in quite a bit of pain. They added more fluid to my tissue expander on Wednesday, and that is a good thing. It means we're progressing down the road toward the final reconstructive surgery, or at least what we hope is the final reconstructive surgery. It might take several. The thing about that fluid is it's fluid. It moves around, and when it moves and the weight shifts, it puts pressure on the sutures that are in my pectoral muscles. I had gotten used to the sutures more or less, but it's suddenly pulling on them in fun new ways and shifting around. So that's something to get used to. However, I still feel way better than I did just 2 weeks ago. My energy levels are good. I got up at 7 again. I did my morning stretch routine. It was really, really nice. My down dog at the moment leaves much to be desired, but give me a week, we'll clean that up. I had another really high quality focus hour, followed by some pretty decent work. My energy was still so decent by the end of the day that I tried my hand at candle making again. This time, instead of layers of color, I decided I was going to play more with molds and shapes. I think it went well, but it's still cooling. I'll have to show you the final result tomorrow. Once I had those set aside to cool, I even moved on to my next goal for the week, which was to bake something. I was searching around for recipes that would use the blueberries that I've been picking in them, and I found something called Blueberry Boy Bait, which, aside from being an absurd name, appears to be a combination of like a blueberry cake and a coffee cake. I had a bunch of difficulties whipping the egg whites into stiff peaks, so I'm not sure that it came out the way that it's supposed to, but it's sitting in my kitchen cooling right now, and I cannot wait to dig into it. It smells really good. I have even managed 10K steps today. It's coming up on bedtime for me, so I am going to get my final stretch in, and then I'm going to ask Versailles how she feels about some late evening training. Oh, by the way, I have been increasing the value of the treats that I offer to her. That has restored a fair amount of her enthusiasm for training. I think what we were witnessing was a work slowdown verging on work stoppage in retaliation for making her do the whole trick all last week. She's my beautiful little union boss. She knows her worth. And when you are asking her to do things that are less pleasant, then the wages must go up to compensate. Oh, hello there. I'm just having some lovely tea. What's this? It's a candle. I think these came out really nice. These are just white beeswax. The scent is a blend of old books, honey, tea, honeysuckle, and jasmine. I was kind of picturing like a sorceress studying in her library with a beautiful cup of tea and the smell of petals just wafting through the window. I put the wicks in the teacups and filled them about halfway, and then the flowers I did in a separate mold. When they were finally set up a few hours later, I used a heat gun on a drill bit and just hand drilled through the flowers, and then I threaded the wicks through the flowers. I used a heat gun on the top of the teacups to just make a little puddle of wax so that the flower would set into it and just become a part of it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty happy with how these came out for a first go around at using molds to make a fancy candle. My candle making powers grow. Soon I shall be unstoppable. I woke up just after 7. I did the morning routine. I tried plying the dog with cheese, and she was mostly willing to work for cheese. I think she's a little annoyed because she got straight up ground turkey out of me last night, but I can't be doing that all the time. Of course, according to her, I'm a liar and I could absolutely go to the grocery store and get her more turkey.
Hey, check out this cool trick. It's called Whisper. We've been working on it casually for the last few weeks, and you can see, even without a special focus, this one was simple enough that she's basically got it.
I did my workout. I allowed myself slightly heavier weights today. I went all the way up to 15 pounds. That felt mostly pretty good. Again, the main challenge is just that now the fluid in the tissue expander is kind of sloshing and putting uneven weight on the sutures. And that is unpleasant, but it doesn't really stop me from exercising. I felt some weird twinges during my stretch, but it was okay. I'm still absolutely loving being allowed to work out without restrictions. I just had a big smile on my face through the whole thing. And then I wrapped up all of this exercise with the physical therapy assignment. It feels like nothing. We're doing way more doing the actual yoga portion than we are doing the physical therapy portion. It feels very silly to be doing those motions after all of those yoga poses. The dog and I went for a little walk, not very long. I came home, I had a lovely shower and self-care routine, and then it was time, of course, for my focus hour. I got to enjoy some of my blueberry coffee cake, or blueberry boy bait as the recipe calls it, during my focus hour. Very nice little treat, although I'm not sure that it's better than just straight up blueberries. I really love fruit. I love fruit so much. I spent most of the afternoon working on editing this video, but very shortly I'm going to leave with the family to go celebrate my parents' 45th wedding anniversary. So before we take off, I have to make sure to do some training with the dog. She is staring at me right now, demanding attention. So this seems like a perfect time to do it.
Yes! Very good! Sid. Would you benefit from a mat, my love? Yes.
Feel better on your bony butt?
Yes, very nice. Yes, yes, yes! Yes. Keep going. Keep going. Yes, yes, yes! That's what we want. Yes, very good! Yes!
Hi. I just got up from a rest after taking Versailles to her class today. She loves class, but we'll get there. I woke up around 7:30 a.m. I did the morning routine, including the morning training with the dog. She is still demanding wildly high-value treats, even for the simplest of tricks. The treat inflation has gotten out of control. This household's treat economy is going to crash. I recognize that this is my fault for making her do an entire week of practicing the hold trick. At this point, we're going to have to get the Fed involved to try and get this inflation under control. Even just talking about it, she is staring right into my eyes. One of us has to blink, and it's not going to be her. I did a really nice stretch. The novelty of being able to move my body has not worn off. And yes, I did the physical therapy. Tossed myself through the shower, did the whole self-care routine, and then settled in to knock out my focus hour before we had to get in the car. I'm so close to finishing this project. I can taste it. I think maybe Monday will be the last day on this one, then I can move on to something else. It feels really good to be able to think clearly enough to accomplish something. My energy has been noticeably good this whole week. This week feels like a major turning point, not just because the restrictions were lifted. There were a lot of dogs absent from class today, and we did miss them, but it did give us a lot of room to practice a lot of different things. I just rolled her sit pretty training into her class time. They have so many surfaces and step ups and just equipment there that we were able to practice sit pretty in a lot of unusual situations. So that goal is checked off, and that is our last sit pretty focus of the week. Gonna have to pick something new for next week. Like I mentioned, when we got home, we were both very tired. I had something to eat, and then we laid down together for a while. I've only had to take 1.5 naps. I don't think I actually slept this time. I just laid down for a while, but this week has been noticeably light on naps. I really hope this is a trend that continues. She has a playmate that's about to arrive, and while she's out there playing, I'm going to do my last stretch of the week. That's going to bring us to darn near 100% completion of all challenge goals this week. Let's get this stretch done, and then we'll meet back here and we'll talk about next week's goals. Astute observers of the challenge will have noted that I began with the twist card in my hand, and I have kept it in my hand this whole time. You may have also noted that it doesn't make any sense, because the power of the twist card is that I can rewrite the challenge goals for the coming weeks. However, I've been choosing goals for the week at the end of the previous week on Sundays, which makes this card totally useless. When I was designing the challenge itself and the cards to go with it, the idea was that there was going to be some pretty set goals that crept up week by week, and we could look ahead and see what they were for at least 4 weeks. But when I was designing it, the idea was also that I was already going to be approved for physical therapy, and all of my exercise restrictions were supposed to be lifted before the challenge started. I had a bunch of wound healing complications post-surgery, and the restrictions had to stay on longer than anyone predicted. So, out of an abundance of caution, I have been evaluating how the previous week went before planning the next week to make sure that it was going to be something that I was physically capable of, to make sure that it felt safe. We are now at a place where I have not perfectly predictable energy, but enough, and my exercise restrictions have been lifted, which means we can start playing the challenge as it was originally envisioned. So, we have goals for the next 4 weeks, more or less. Now remember, these are minimums. I can always add to these goals, but I don't have to.
Let's look at the next 4 weeks of the planned 13-week challenge. So to begin with, I am going to start edging down my wake-up time. Now that I'm doing pretty good with that 8 a.m. wake-up time, I would really like to start progressing towards my usual 7 a.m. wake-up time. But I really don't want to play around with sleep. It's so important for healing, so we're doing this slowly and gradually. For next week, I'm going to stay with that 2 20-minute stretches, 2 hours apart. But the following week, I'm going to transition to just 40 minutes of stretching, and I can break that up throughout the day however I'd like. It gives me a little bit more flexibility if I want to do something like 30 minutes of yoga after I've done a really intense workout, just to stretch out my muscles, and then just a gentle 10 minutes before bed, that sort of thing. Next week, we're stepping up to 5 30-minute workouts instead of 4 30-minute workouts, and then each week after that, we're adding 5 minutes to that workout time until we get to 45 minutes per workout session. Even though I exceeded my step count requirement for this week, I'm still not going to push it up next week, just because we're adding a whole entire additional day of having a workout in it. I'm giving myself a little bit of grace there. You might be thinking that it looks like we have a plateau here at 5 10K step days per week, but hold on. We are going to start trying to exceed 10K step days. So in week 7, we're going to try and have a day where we get 13,000 steps, and in week 8, we're going to try to have 2 of those days. Now, of course, all of these weeks still fall into blueberry season, so picking blueberries will be a goal for every single one of these weeks. Each week will have an outing assigned to it. I will tell you more about each of these outings as we get to them. And of course, the dog has a trick challenge assigned to her for each of these weeks. Now that we know what to expect for week 5 and beyond, let's lock in.
Thank you so much for being here during my week 4 journey. I hope your week was beautiful and healing and life affirming. See you next week.